Waterspouts just like this one popping up, threatening to wreak havoc. Florida's governor imploring Floridians the day before to heed local evacuation orders. Over 6 million ordered to evacuate. The mass exodus becoming one of the largest evacuations in U.S. history.
If you have been ordered to evacuate, you need to leave now.
More than 160,000 hunkering down in shelters across the state. And 35 people were forced to evacuate Sunday evening in Riviera Beach after the roof collapsed on this apartment complex. But amid the chaos, a miracle in Coral Springs. This baby girl delivered at home. First responders carrying the little one to safety.
Miami-Dade is under a curfew until 7 a.m. Eastern. 28 people were arrested overnight for looting, and schools are closed until further notice. But Chris, in the middle of all this, a little glimmer of normalcy. We've learned that while the airport is closed today, limited operations resume tomorrow. Chris?
All right, Rosa, we're hoping to be equally shocked by the recovery as we are by what Hurricane Irma is doing in an unexpected fashion all over this state. Right now we have the city manager of Naples, Bill Moss. Look, we spoke to you before. You said you had a plan, but we didn't expect what happened yesterday, making history in the wrong kind of way with the gusts we got. And then that surge, we saw some of the pictures. We still don't know what's out there in terms of flooded homes. What are you worried about, Bill?
Well, that storm initially was as fierce as I had ever expected, but the miracle was that the backside of the storm just seemed to peter out for us, and that was very, very helpful. We could have had much more damage as a result of that. So the negative side, we have almost all streets in our city are blocked because of tree branches and fallen trees. Some of the streets are flooded because of the tidal surge, storm surge, and it'll take a while for those to recede. But on the other hand, we have very little structural damage that we've been able to see so far in the dark. Very little damage to businesses. I think there will be some flooding of structures in the low-lying areas, but I don't think that will be very severe. So all in all, I think we're going to be back to business very quickly. We're going to mobilize this morning, start clearing the streets. It may take all day and maybe into tomorrow before we can get our people safely back to their homes. But the power is going to be the big issue. Electricity might be out for a day, it might be out for weeks.
Yeah, I mean, it went out fairly early on yesterday here. That's why it's so dark, by the way. The only lights we have are battery power lights here. I don't even know where that voice was coming from. But the only time you see light here, Bill, is when they're headlights. And, you know, what they reveal is not good. People shouldn't be out driving. Hopefully they're mostly media. And then those homes, those flooded homes. What's your concern there? I saw drone footage. Did not look good.
Well, again, we're not going to be able to know until we get started, but there will be some flooding. Most of our homes are elevated because of the FEMA flood elevation codes. So I think most of them will be protected, but there will be some damage. So again, we're just going to have to wait and see, assess as we go along today.
You're going to try and turn a negative into a positive and take that gust that you got here that set some kind of record and use it as kind of an emblem of what this city can endure?
Oh, it will be positive. Like I said, by the end of the day, we'll have our main thoroughfares open. We'll have most of our neighborhoods open, and if not, we'll have them ready for tomorrow. If people want to come back, they'll have to do it. They'll have to be very safe, and it won't be convenient. It won't be comfortable. The weather will be hot. There'll be no air conditioning, but at least they'll have a chance to get back to their homes.
Well, we'll get out there with the first responders today. We'll get information out, and you let us know what we need to tell the people here, especially until the power gets back on. We're basically going, you know, person to person, telling them what's going on. But, Bill, I'm glad to see that you're safe, and I hope it's a quick recovery.
Have a great day.
No, absolutely. Bill Moss is the city manager. Go ahead. Yeah, I know you got a lot to do. They're really busy here trying to get now. Bill, go ahead, Bill. I know you got to get to work. Walk this way. That's a wall. You can't go that way, Bill. So we know that they have a whole plan in effect. Bill came here yesterday and he said, we've prepared. We've been doing this for 40 years. Bill Moss, Allison, has been doing this for 40 years. He sees storms every year. He says he has never seen anything like what they dealt with here in Naples yesterday.
That's what we keep hearing. I mean, from all of our guests, Chris, and it's amazing how sustained Irma has been, you know, from obviously the Keys and before that the Caribbean, but from the Keys all the way up now to North Florida and Daytona Beach. Here, these are live pictures. It is still hitting Daytona Beach as we speak. So it has passed, obviously, the Keys, Miami, Naples, where you are. But look at this. I mean, this is a city. But it looks, I mean, you know, obviously you can see the waves blowing through it. It's just incredible that millions of people right now are still in the dark in Florida. We've gotten new updates about just how many millions of people have lost electricity, so we have a live report for you in just moments.
This is a quest to explore the wonders of our world.
Never seen anything like this before.
Go there before it's gone. The Wonder List with Bill Weir returns Saturday, October 7th at 9 on CNN.
Looking for adventure this Labor Day?
Holy smokes.
Oh man, that's pretty intense. Look no further than Chevrolet.
This is a fast car. I feel like I left my soul back there. Wow, this has power.
Head to the Chevy Labor Day sales event and ride out the summer in a new Chevrolet. Now use Labor Day bonus cash to get $4,000 total cash allowance on most Chevy Traverse models, or get 20% below MSRP on select 2017 Chevy models in stock. Find new roads at the Chevy Labor Day sales event.
When it came time to sell our home, suddenly everybody knew an agent.
I think my yoga instructor Steve is a real estate agent.
We were not going to list with my sister's yoga instructor, Steve. That's when we found HomeLight.
HomeLight showed us the best agents in our area.
They matched us with the perfect agent for our needs.
Our home sold above listing price in just 8 days.
Steve, they found their agent with HomeLight.
Home what?
HomeLight.com.
Tennis training has evolved in really weird ways. Just ask the Bryan brothers. The Izod Performance Stretch Chino with Sportflex expandable waistband.
Don't let dust and allergens get between you and life's beautiful moments. Flonase outperforms the #1 non-drowsy allergy pill. It helps block 6 key inflammatory substances that cause symptoms. Pills block 1, and 6 is greater than 1. Flonase changes everything.
I count on my Dell Small Business Advisor for tech advice. With one phone call, I get products that suit my needs, and I get back to business.
I know when I hand them the keys to their first car, it's going to be scary, but I also know that we're going to have USAA insurance for both my boys, something that they're not even going to have to think of. It's just going to be in the family. We're the Tennies, and we're USAA members for life.
Now you can win $1,000 a day for life from Publishers Clearinghouse.
Are you serious?
We are serious. About 1,000 a day, every day, for life. Go to PCH.com and enter. October 13th, you can win $1,000 a day for life.
It's the 10th season of Parts Unknown, and I still have a job? Who saw that coming?
Season 10 of Anthony Bourdain Parts Unknown starts Sunday, October 1st at 9 on C.
At Spectrum, we know you want it all. Speed and reliability, strength and flexibility. Everything at your fingertips, instantly. This is our challenge. It's why we've built an advanced fiber-rich network that connects more than 500 million devices today, and countless more tomorrow. That's why our work is never done. Spectrum, redefining what a cable company can be.
At Beaches, everything's included. For everyone.
Never overthink it, do what I want, my generation. That's right, my generation. Yeah, all about a good time. Yeah, all about a good life. You won't believe it till you see this gonna be a fun ride. Yeah, all about a good time. Yeah, all about a good life. Good energy, come follow me, it's gonna be a good night.
Beaches All-Inclusive Resorts. Call 1-800-BEACHES.
CNN.
And yes, we would get some of the vans, and we were getting some of the vans, but it was very, very light. Not worth really mentioning it was that light. And then suddenly everything changed. And as we got later and later into the night and then into the morning hours, things got outrageous where these winds were whipping up. And as it turned out, the eye was starting to come right across Daytona Beach. Now, we are definitely, in the last 2 hours, we have definitely noticed a very different scenario compared to earlier. Earlier, it was sustained winds. My face was literally kind of pushed back from the wind. It was like standing in a wind tunnel. It was so strong. And now you can comfortably stand, except for every now and then there's a gust. So things have changed here on Daytona Beach, but I do want to mention a couple of different things. One is that during this event, in the county next to us, Brevard County, that has the challenge, that has the NASA and Cape Canaveral. They said that 2 tornadoes have touched down. They are concerned about whether or not there was damage, but they do know that no one has been injured due to those tornadoes. There were 40 tornado warnings. So as they're getting this wind that they weren't expecting, suddenly within that wind, there were cells that had tornadoes in there. So very, very terrifying for anyone who is watching this come through their area, come through their neighborhoods. But lastly, we understand that here, even with these winds, first responders did go out to make rescues, 20 to 25 people, we understand, because they were getting flooded. The most dangerous thing in these storms, the thing that kills more people than anything else, floodwaters, and rescuers here decided to brave these dangerous winds to try and save them. Chris?
Sarah, thank you for the reporting. Stay safe. Important perspective there. The winds get the headlines, the miles per hour. It's the water that kills. That's the #1 cause of death. You heard Sarah Seidner report that. It's true. That's what kills the most in hurricanes, water. So storm surge is a very big deal. It is part of this story. This is a bad luck story. This storm was bigger than it was supposed to be. It went places that it wasn't supposed to. But there's
speech.
That's right. And hopefully, yes, sir. Chief, I can hear you. And if you can hear me, please tell us about the rescues that were necessary. We know that the first responders don't want to go out once the winds get much above 40, but sometimes this is why you're the best of us, is that you will save us even in the worst of conditions.
Yes, unfortunately, the winds exceeded our threshold where we had to stop operations. But then once life became in jeopardy, we had to take calculated risks to rescue members of our community. Several of these included people caught in floodwaters, and we've had a couple structure fires already this morning. Hopefully these winds die down shortly and the daylight breaks so we can begin to assess the damage throughout the city.
And we know that's going to be, a really important part of this event. You're dealing with the imminency and the urgency. That's bad enough. And then you're going to get the light of day because obviously there's certain power concerns. You can't know as much as you would ordinarily. What are you worried that you're going to find?
Yeah, unfortunately, or fortunately for us, as we continue to begin to do our preliminary assessment of damage, we find that several of the major thoroughfares are wide open for our first responders to travel. Unfortunately, our core historic district has suffered severe flooding, so accessing those people, we're utilizing a high water apparatus so we can safely rescue those people and get them to high ground. Right now, we're just asking everyone to remain indoors. Sorry, Chris, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, Chief, what you have to say matters more. Please finish your point.
Right now, we're asking that all of the residents remain indoors and allow first responders to access everywhere we need to go. We understand your call is important to us. We have several support agencies assisting us with the rescue. But should you need anything, 911 is available and the hospital is ready to accept you.
All right, Chief, as you get information that's important for people to know, consider us a resource, and please stay safe out there today.
Absolutely. Thank you, Chris.
And you remember, Chief Driscoll and many of the men and women that are going to be going out there today, for everybody else, they have their own families, their own loved ones that either they haven't been with through this storm or they're going to have to leave behind in their own hour of need to go and help everybody else. Right. Remarkable. All right, where are we headed next?
Such a good reminder, Chris. Thank you for that. So Irma's fury is being felt all up and down and across Florida. Up next, we're going to speak to a Florida lawmaker to get an update on the devastation in his district.
What is this place?
It's a modern software factory, a hub of digital transformation. Is this where we come to compete? This is what you build to compete, where insight drives experience, where automation delivers better apps faster, where agile isn't just a buzzword, it's a way of life.
What about security?
Strong. yet frictionless. All working together at scale. It's about moving to new from old.